Good evening, viewers and listeners of Concerned Citizens Media. Thank you again for coming back. I always appreciate your presence. Today is February 12, 2023. I have several news updates to share with you. The situation in Ethiopia is changing very rapidly. The protest, which was planned for today, is cancelled, uh, which gives Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed a huge break. It's a huge break. If you see the announcement from the government of Abiy Ahmed, you see the frustration, you see the tension, you see the fear of the government about this Orthodox issue, especially the protest, the planned protest for today, which was cancelled. So, sending out multiple announcements, press release by government communication agency, by Addis Ababa city administration, by regional governments, Oromia, Somalia, everyone is just, sending out, to indicate the tension, and by joint task force. So it's so many announcements from different angles, threatening protesters not to come out, not to conduct protest against Abiy Ahmed and against the new, Orthodox synod. So that is for now is cool down. The tension is cool down. But I will let me see. I have the summary of the ongoing situation in Addis Ababa in the following form. The Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and his team talked to the church splitter group, or the new synod, separately. Also, the Prime Minister talked to the status quo, or the synod, which is against the ongoing change. So, through the discussion with both groups, the Prime Minister successfully averted a coup against his power. That was, the reason for sending out multiple announcements, even the closing of schools, and even holding the teachers for the whole day without break. So that all is now taken care of, by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, forcing those groups to engage with him and to cancel the protest which was planned for today, Sunday. So it's a coup. It's a coup against Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Averted. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his Prosperity Party declared the state of emergency and put Addis Ababa and the surrounding cities under command post control. So Addis Ababa and the surrounding cities are now administered by command post. Tough restrictions on the movement of people and motor vehicles in Addis Ababa and the surrounding cities are banned. Movement to and around the Arat Kilo, or the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Palace, is a red line. It's extremely restricted. And if you hear the closure announcement from Addis Ababa administration, you will see too many roads, streets. No way you can see them in a normal city situation. So Addis Ababa, the capital city, is actually paralyzed by this command post and by the announcement of road closures. Road closures. Detention of activists, priests, outspoken Orthodox followers, businessmen, and others continue. So one, he talked to the 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 status quo church leadership. So after the protests cool down, if the after the protests cancelled, now he is using the military, the police, undercover operatives to conduct arrests of those activists, those who are outspoken against him, those who are determined to sacrifice for the church and calling on the others to do the same. So massive arrest is underway. That's the update. And even this restriction of movement make harder today for the Orthodox believers and others to go to the church for prayer. It makes harder for those followers to go to the church and do prayer, and for ordinary people, those who are looking for daily bread. So it makes harder for them too. And the other scary thing is heavy military and security forces deployed in the capital city and the surrounding cities. So it's a threatening force. It's a show of force in Addis Ababa. The other thing makes this thing is harder is the upcoming African Union meeting, which is planned to take place in the coming days. That is the one big reason for Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to warn the church leaders not to call for protest on today and any other days, because the security is a paramount for this leadership, for African leadership to come and to discuss the business of Africa. So if this is, changed or cancelled due to insecurity in Addis Ababa, that's a huge economic and other political challenge for Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. So he tried his best to silence those church leaders not to call for protest and to cancel the already planned protest. But according to the church affiliated media, they say they didn't cancel. They just postponed on condition they given to the prime minister. So they might, announce it again to have a protest. So, this African Union thing is a big thing. In the past, Libya, Egypt, and others tried to take the headquarters from Ethiopia. So it's a big thing. It's not a simple thing. Losing the meeting due to the security reason is a very huge economic impact and a political impact. So Prime Minister averted that one for the time being. And if if he is successful with the military power and security power and media threat he is using, or multiple press release, it's a threatening, by the way, it's a threatening to those protesters. and also calling on the parents not to allow their children to engage in any protest, and also advising citizens to to cooperate with the government. If you see something, say something. All these plus other tactics, are used by the prime minister uh, to secure his power, to secure the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa. So he is in a very tough situation. He is a very serious situation. Uh, but for now, it looks like his power is secured. Okay, and the government blames external media and external foreign actors for this instability. Uh, you know, to use the crisis in Orthodox Church as an excuse to take his power. Or so, but they didn't mention who are these external powers, who are the external media uh, fighting or trying to take power from him. So these are a little bit the update I have, just like a summary. As I say, things are changing very rapidly. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow or after tomorrow, but for time being, things are settled in such a manner. The government has upper hand at this time, even though the residents in Addis Ababa and the surrounding are living in a very, very tough situation because of this command post. Okay, let's watch a couple of videos, and then I have a couple of other news to read. Then we're gonna watch the videos I selected for you from different media. Thank you again. So the next two videos is additional update for you on Orthodox crisis in Ethiopia.
Scenes of a united Ethiopian Orthodox Church after weeks of tension and unrest. Visuals like this one in Addis Ababa are a show of strength for one of the oldest Christian bodies in the world. The crisis began when a group of rebel bishops created their own assembly in Oromia region, saying they face discrimination under the church's current system. They say their culture and language have been consistently ignored by the religious hierarchy, accusations the church leaders have denied.
A set of Oromo archbishops and bishops who broke away from the Orthodox Church, and then the Oromo regional government was actually helping those breakaway bishops essentially take over the Orthodox Church and put their people in place.
Violent protests followed between supporters on both sides and security forces. The church says at least 30 people have been killed in a week, and access to social media has been widely restricted. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has asked his ministers to stay out of the dispute. The government issued a ban on church-led demonstrations meant to oppose the breakaway movement. But religious leaders describe that move as a declaration to destroy the church.
This is a really difficult situation for the prime minister. His political base, being in power, has primarily been between the Oromo, which is the ethnic group he comes from, and Ethiopia's largest ethnic group, and the Amhara, which has dominated the Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
With more than 36 million followers, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church has been around for centuries, with vast religious, cultural, and political influence. For now, tensions have de-escalated, but further divisions may fuel more conflicts that threaten to extend well beyond the church. Katia Lopez-Oloyan, Al Jazeera.
Okay, I got one more from African.
The Orthodox Church in Ethiopia has called off demonstrations planned for Sunday following a meeting with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Protests followed the creation of a breakaway synod by Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo church bishops in Oromia over claims of linguistic and cultural hegemony by church leaders. The Holy Synod has postponed the February the 12th peaceful demonstrations for an indefinite period of time, he says. This is not because of a change of position, but because of the government's agreement and decision to solve the problem immediately. Within the deadline set by the Church, which opened its doors for peace. At least 30 people have been killed in protests over the past week, and social networks have been restricted. It follows claims by breakaway bishops the Church was discriminating against them over the use of their own language in Oromia.
Why doesn't every home in the U.S. have brand new windows? The number one reason is not about sunlight or weather or even politics.
Okay, I'll come back to the next video after reading a couple of other news. I will make it shorter for today. So that's additional updates on the crisis on video, just in addition to what I said in a summary. Here it goes. This one is about, this is from BBC. Somalia reopens UK embassy after 32 years absence. 32 years. Somalia has reopened its embassy in the United Kingdom after 32 years in a ceremony attended by Ambassador Abdul Kadir Ahmed Kher, Olympic champion Mo Farah, and the Somali-Canadian model Sabrina Dawour, among others. The embassy in London is expected to provide consular service to the nearly 500,000 strong diaspora community in the UK who are eligible for Somali citizenship and other services including travel documentation and marriage certificates. It will also host cultural and other informative events. Ambassador Kher said that reopening the embassy was a positive step in strengthening UK-Somali relations. The Somali embassy in London was officially closed in 1991 following the collapse of the central government. However, diplomatic relations have strengthened in recent years. Britain reopened its embassy in Mogadishu in 2013 after a 22-year absence. This is from Associated Press. Sudan military finished a review of Russia Red Sea base deal. Sudan's ruling military concluded a review of an agreement with Russia to build a navy base on the Red Sea in the African country, two Sudanese officials said on Saturday. They said the deal was awaiting the formation of a civilian government and a legislative body to be ratified before it takes effect. The officials said Moscow met Sudan's most recent demands, including providing more weapons and equipment. They cleared all our concerns. The deal has become okay from the military side, one official said. The officials didn't provide further details and spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss internal deliberation. A spokesman for the Sudanese military declined to comment. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov also said Thursday the deal still needs ratification by Sudan's yet-to-be-formed legislative body. Sudan has been without a parliament since a popular uprising forced the military overthrow of long-time autocrat Omar al-Bashir in April 2019. The country has been mired in political chaos since an October 2021 military coup derailed its short-lived transition to democracy. The deal, which surfaced in December 2021, is part of Moscow's effort to restore a regular naval presence in various parts of the globe. It was reached during al-Bashir's reign. The agreement allows Russia to set up a naval base with up to 300 Russian troops and to simultaneously keep up to 4 Navy ships, including nuclear-powered ones, in the strategic Port Sudan on the Red Sea. The base would ensure the Russia's Navy presence in the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean and spare its ships the need for long voyages to reach the area, according to Viktor Banderev, the former Russian Air Force chief. In exchange, Russia is to provide Sudan with weapons and military equipment. The agreement is to last for 25 years with automatic extensions for 10-year period if neither side objects. So that is Russia's intention to have naval military base in Sudan. So that's agreement, and we don't know what will be the consequences for Ethiopia-Sudan relationship. We have a border dispute still not resolved, so this allowing Russia to have a base and getting military weapons, we don't know the consequence of that agreement. It might be tougher for Ethiopian government to handle, to bring back the territory Sudan took by force from Abiy Ahmed, or by some kind of agreement. We don't know. Some media say Abiy allowed them to take it. Some say it's taken by force. So that's all I have for reading. Let's continue with a couple of videos. The next video is a call by Global Oromo Faithful Council to handle the ongoing bloody war in Oromia in a peace deal in the same way happened in Tigray. So those councils, religious council, Oromo Global Faithful Council, call on Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Oromia Region Governor Shimalis Abdisa, and Oromo Liberation Army leader Jalmarro to settle this ongoing bloody war in a peaceful manner. So it's in an Afan Oromo, but basically the main point is, please end the war in Oromia in a peaceful manner. Come to the table and set aside your differences and stop the war. That's in short, stop the war. This call is also done by OLA, the Oromo advocacy group here in the United States, organized a two-page letter in the same manner, it's the same thing, calling on the Prime Minister Abiy Abdi, Shimalis Abdisa, Jalmarro, Oromo Liberation Army commander, to sit down and end this serious bloody war. And the OLA, the Oromo Leadership Advocacy Group, has the names of almost 50 states, Oromo diaspora community plus the Canada. So it's not a simple letter. You got so many concerned individuals or citizens or Oromo diaspora community who want to see the end of this war through a peaceful manner, through dialogue. So OLA is participated. OLA is also calling on the name of those, I said, almost 50 states in the United States, representing different Oromo communities in the diaspora, plus the Canada, from Canada, calling on Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Shimalis Abdisa, and Jalmarro to sit down and end this war, this bloody war. So everyone is concerned. In the previous time, 80 Ethiopia's MEPs representing Oromia region call upon the Prime Minister to settle, but he ignored it. He ignored it. And Oromo Federalist Congress, Dr. Marara Gudina party, called the same thing. Oromo Liberation Front call for the same thing. So many calls, but Prime Minister and his team ignored, and the bloody war still ongoing. So it's just if you understand Afan Oromo, it's okay. If not, the main idea is calling for peaceful resolution and for peaceful coexistence in Oromia. And it's very, very essential, not for Oromos, but for the Ethiopia as a whole. So it should be settled. It should be this government must be forced by international community to settle this bloody war in Oromia. Let's listen to and continue with other videos.
Presidenti mootummaa naannoo Oromiyaa Shimallis Abdiisaa ajajaa waraana bilisummaa Oromoo Jaal Dirribaa Kumsaa yookaan Jaal Marroo Koongiresii Federaalistii Oromoo fi adda bilisummaa Oromoo eeruudhaan yaamicha nageenyaa kun kan dhiyaate. Manni marii amantiilee Oromoo idil addunyaa jaarmiyaalee amantaa Itoophiyaa keessa jiran hundinuu keessumaa jaarmiyaalee amantaa naannoo Oromiyaatti socho'an nagaadhaan waliin jiraachuu kabaja waliif qabaachuu fi wal dhaggeeffachuun gidduu isaanii akka jiraatu cimsuuf kan hojjetu ta'uu beeksise. Haala waraanaa Oromiyaa keessatti gaggeeffamaa jiru ilaalchisee walitti bu'iinsi kun kan uumame sababa siyaasatiin ta'uu eeruun hiikoon isaatis marii karaa nagaa malee wal waraansan akka hin argamne irra deddeebiin ibsaa turuu yaadachiise. Keessattuu haala qabatamaa amma jiru ilaalchisee manni maree kun walgahii ariifachiisaa gurraan dhala 8 bara 2023 gaggeessin dhaamsa nagaa fi mariin hatattamaa dhaabbilee Oromoo gidduutti akka adeemsifamu yaamicha dhiyeesse. Hundeeffamuu Sinidoosii haaraatti gammaduu ibsuun manni marii amantiilee addunyaa qaxxaamura seenaa yeroo ammaa dhufe kanatti fayyadamuudhaan mootummaa fi waraanni bilisummaa Oromoo akkasumas dhaabbileen Oromoo garaagarummaa qaban karaa araaraan akka fixatan yaamicha taasisee jira. Wayitiin ammaa yeroo saba Oromoo irratti aggaammiin cimaan dhufee fi sabni Oromoo daangaa amantii tokko malee waloodhaan dhaabbate waan ta'eef mootummaa fi dhaabbileen Oromoo araara buusuudhaan uummanni akka tokkummaadhaan aggaammiitti aggaamame ofirraa deebisuun haala mijeessuu qabu jechuun dhaamsa dabarseera. Wallibdee jiru araaraan fixachuudhaaf mootummaan hogganoota siyaasaa hidhaa jiran kanneen akka Miikaa'el Booran, Abdii Raggaasaa, Lammii Beenyaam, Gadaa Gabbisaa fi akkasumas Oromoota ilaalcha siyaasaa isaanii irraa kan ka'e hidhaa jiran hiikuudhaan akka jalqabu yaamicha kabajaa dhiyaateera. Dhaabbileen amantii fi waldaaleen siivikii fi ogummaa akkasumas jaarsoliin abbootiin gadaa haadholiin siinqee biyya keessa fi biyya alaa haala araara nagaa kana karaa saaquudhaan gama mara walqixa laaluudhaan akka kaka'umsa fudhatanii marii jalqabdan jechuun manni marii amantiilee Oromoo idil addunyaa erga dabarseera. Uummanni Oromoo tokkummaa yeroo ammaa agarsiisame akka itti fufu jechuun fiixan bahiinsa marii nagaaf shoora olaanaa taphatu akka qabus dhaameera.
We've arrived, Mr. Dog.
Time to slip in. Alrighty up.
Okay, so in addition to calling on for peaceful resolution, the Global Oromo Faithful Council is also appreciated, happy about the formation of the new synod, and also call on traditional Oromo leaders, Bagadas and Sinkes, to play a major role, initiative role for this peace process, and also call upon the government to release all political prisoners, especially the names he mentioned, still, holding them. Is holding them. Some of them released by the court system, but Abiy Ahmed is holding them. So for the peaceful engagement, they're just adding also, these political prisoners and non-political prisoners or Oromos who are still under the control of Abiy Ahmed must be released, and all must work for this peaceful resolution. Okay, here we go.
Healthcare workers in Madrid vented their anger at the dismantling of public healthcare by the regional government of the Popular Party. Hundreds of thousands of people took to the streets of the Spanish capital on Sunday.
Trabajar en esta situación es verdaderamente imposible, atenta sobre la seguridad del ciudadano, del paciente.
The 74 social groups organising the protests say it's unacceptable that more than 1 million people in Madrid do not have a designated doctor.
Okay, one more. This is the last one, I think. So this is the earthquake impact in Turkey, I think. This is a devastation created by the 7.8 magnitude earthquake. It's horrible, really. It's horrible. Okay, so these are the videos I selected for you for today's update. So that's the devastation you see from drone from the top. It's really heartbreaking, and the death toll is reaching now about 29,000. 29,000, and still not closing. Still keep changing, and the injuries reached close to 80,000. 80,000. So it's, the displacement could be millions, and the building collapsed. I think at the beginning I heard it's about 400 buildings totally, and some more partially. So the devastation is really is a tough one to watch. And I also asked you to do your part to donate whatever you can to non-profit organization, so that these people impacted in Turkey and Syria can, the survivors can get something. So please do, and also pray for them. Pray for them. This is a very high magnitude crisis, catastrophe. So I'm gonna conclude by saying Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Shimalis Abdisa of Oromia, and Jal Marro, please listen to the citizens who are calling for peaceful resolution, ongoing bloody war. War is destructive. War kills, and it can create misery, death, and destruction. So please consider uh, this peaceful call from these religious groups, political groups, and others. Sit down, figure out your difference, share the power, and stop the bloody war from the citizens. Oromos suffered more than enough. In the last 27 years, plus the 4 more years under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, under the blockade, internet and other services are under the blockade. We do not have that much access from that region. It's a very tough one under military command for so long. So please, we all should be an advocate for this peaceful resolution. And the United States, European Unions, African Unions, the same pressure you put on Tigray and the federal government of Ethiopia, please do the same thing in Oromia and end this bloody war. And this is a very serious one. If not settled, it will be worse than the Tigray war. So that's all I'm going to say. I will be back if I have any updates on the crisis we have in Ethiopia. It's a very tough one for Ethiopian citizens now, especially those who are living in the capital city under the command post. Thank you for joining me, and be safe. I will be back again. Thank you. So long, everyone.